month, that's September, and the sponsorship deal, of course, has been availed. And also Taban Labita has confirmed his move to URA from a club in the names of Das Busoga. We'll also be talking about that. How good is the signing for the team, that's URA, and at the same time, how this player is going to help the team with the rest of the signings they have made. Not only that one, remember there is the ongoing Women's World Cup in Australia and Switzerland and New Zealand. How, of course, African countries are performing. We'll also be talking about that one. And remember, a huge game, the game has just started. It's between Morocco and the country France. Can France be able to upset the world again to see that they proceed to the quarterfinals of the ongoing Women's World Cup? We'll also be giving analysis about that one, plus the fate of the other teams that have already proceeded to the quarterfinals of the tournament. What about some of the transfer rumors and gossips? Before we look into that one, remember some of the done deals have been confirmed already. Tony Livramento, just few minutes ago, has confirmed his move to Magpies Newcastle. We'll also be talking about that one. What about Goncalo Ramos, who has already sealed his loan move from Soccer Lisboa Benfica to Paris Saint-Germain? This is a striker whom Manchester United had been eyeing and confirmed one. He has already gone to Paris-based club. What about Maitland Niles, a right back who has been at the camp of Gunners? He has been released by the Gunners and he has gone to French League One club, that is Olympique de Lyon. We'll also be talking about those ones, plus transfer rumors that continues to make headlines here and there. Remember, we only left with around 19 days for the transfer window to come to an end. Some of the teams that have gone on to sign around, like here in the country, URA, they have signed around 12 players and they have gone on to release 11 players. Manchester United, they are still into the business. Chelsea, they have not confirmed they have not actually completed the signature of Moise Caicedo from Brighton and Hove Albion. They have not given up. What about Neymar saga? These stories are linking here and there. As I said, I am not alone in the studio. I am together with Owen Ezaga as we will be driving the show up to the hour of 3 p.m. Owen, you are most welcome for the show.
Yeah, thank you so much. I want to say it's a pleasure being right here once again, being quite a long time that I couldn't be right here. But all in all, it is what we meant to do. A couple of stories that, just like you've mentioned, and expecting to give the best courtesy of, that is West Nile TV Sports Desk, and of course the whistle time.
A good one coming from Owen. He has already introduced himself to you people. We are starting it with what he had already mentioned to you, a sponsorship coming for a sporting activity in the names of cricket. Remember, schools, they have been participating here and there in the national ball games, and a tournament is set to kickstart on 26th of this month, and as I said, it will come to conclusion on 2nd of next month, September. It's all about boys schools cricket tournament. And the school that's going to host the tournament is, of course, Jinja SS, and it's going to be played in Jinja's 5 venues have been approved for the tournament to take place. And the biggest story here, why actually we are discussing about the tournament, is that big deal coming from Skyview. They are saying that they are going to sponsor the tournament and they are going to inject something of around 30 million Ugandan shillings to see that they give the support for the tournament. Initially, Uganda Secondary School Sports Association, they had a sponsorship from Coca-Cola. They withdrew, and in the last 2 years, the tournament, of course, has been taking place without a sponsorship. But this one for cricket is having a sponsorship coming from Skyview. How good is this one for the tournament itself? Because we have seen so many sporting activities, they don't have the sponsorship deals, but this one, they have come on board on table to see that they actually give support for the tournament.
Yeah, it's a big one for any event to have a sponsorship, and the sponsorship always adds in a lot, catering in for different, of course, sectors in these games. Talk about the sector of how a team, of course, what prizes the teams get. Talk about what exactly the different things. Let's talk about the officiation. Talk about the awardings. Talk about a lot of things in the sports that you will always need to be facilitated. Talk about arrears, allowances, and those are some of the monies that probably the sponsorship helps in. So I think it's a very good one, and of course, a brand like the one you've mentioned, Skyview. Yes, I think they're trying to sell out their brand to see that this gets in there. So it all brings questions of what will they get the visibility that they want. Normally people come for sponsorship for that. So I think but you would want to say that cricket is not so much followed in Uganda. A few people follow it, but all in all, it is one thing that has come through. I think a very good addition. If the money is said to be gotten, that money would be helping. Even 30 million could not help a lot because 30 million is just a mega money for such sports discipline. So it is one thing that has come, but I think it can help in some areas where, of course, you need to add more. Cricket budget can be over some good millions in there. It's a 100 plus millions for such just a tournament to conclude. So I think it's a very, very big one. But all in all, the organizers need to do the right thing to make sure that this yields out for that is the sponsor.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to favor all the parties. As you said, the company itself is also going to get the exposure. The little money they are going to inject for the tournament will also help the schools, and at the same time, part of the money will come from the schools that are going to participate in the tournament. And as I said, the Uganda's secondary school sports association, they had a sponsorship coming from Coca-Cola 2 years. They have not been there in the deal, so they are withdrawn. So we actually calling for support from the different companies to see that they support all these sporting activities. We cannot stop from there. And if you take a look at the number of schools that are going to take part in the tournament, we have in around 16 schools coming from the different parts of the region, different parts of the country rather. But you take a look at the northern region as Western region. Western region is not having any school. Northern region is only going to be represented by one school, that's Laibi. Meanwhile, Western region, you cannot see St. Joseph's College Ombati. There is no Luanga. How bad is this one for our region, as we cannot see any school taking part in cricket?
I've just said something about this not so much being followed, and that brings you to what exactly even the schools don't get interested in such activities. We saw crickets being brought, we saw badminton being brought, but how many schools probably have impressed that to make sure that it works out? That's the question somebody really asking. So it becomes in a way that they are not ready to get there, and when they are not ready, there's no way you're going to force a school go for this. It's at will. So it's not a sporting activity that many could have talked about. Crickets are normally known for the Indians, and the rest are probably the Asian countries that probably play this. So it's one big thing that I think I don't want even to blame any of the schools for not participating, because they lack the experience, they lack the people who are supposed to come and coach this. Do even this association of the cricket come always on ground to see that they teach or lecture the schools, they give them the trainings, of course, to make sure that this works out? So that's the question somebody will be asking. But all in all, I think it's so big, and it is one thing that, yes, I feel they should embrace and probably start doing activities. Maybe a student or a pupil in your school, this is where his or her talent lies, but you can't identify it when you don't have such activities in your school. So I think, yeah, it is yet to come. The Federation of the Cricket needs to put a lot of effort to make sure that this works out.
Yeah, it's true. All these sporting activities, they are not favored in all these regions we have in here in the country. Like you have already said, you talk about the schools in Western region. They only favor football and netball. Only very few schools they are taking part in volleyball. I can say only Aringa SS and Mvarasine Secondary School. Handball, you cannot even see schools. So many schools taking part in it. Yeah, it's coming, but in the coming years, we will see so many schools participating in the game of cricket. And this one is going to help the nation a lot. Remember, Uganda Cricket Association, they have come up saying that this tournament will help them to actually pick players that can go on to represent the country at the national level or at the international level. But all in all, we are watching the space. starting from 26th of this month up to the 2nd of next month. We'll also be in person to keep you updated. It's true that a lot of sporting activities, they are taking part in this country, but we cannot see some of the regions taking part in the tournament. Away from that story, this time we are turning our angle to the world of football. We are starting with the world of transfer. As URA, they continue to prepare themselves massively ahead of the new season. As I said when I was giving the highlights of the show, they have gone on to sign around 12 players. And at the same time, they have gone on to release around 11 players. And if you take a look at the players they have gone for, they are going for players that are native and also players that have been playing outside the country. You take a look at the other player whom they signed from Peterhead, a team that plays in Scottish League. What I can say in summary is they are massively preparing ahead of the new season. Should we say that they are going to be among the contenders to see that they win the Star Times Uganda Premier League next season? Look at the player they have unveiled today, a player in the names of that's Laban Tibita. This is a player who has played for teams like Swana. Of late, they have been rebranded as Toro. You talk about Busoga. Last season, I remember very well, Busoga is one of the teams that suffered a lot. They were almost to go into the relegation zone, but they survived. A midfielder who went on to score around 7 goals and providing 5 assists for the team, that's Busoga. All what I can say is, URA this time they are trying to go for profile players that can be able to do something for the club. Are we seeing them as one of the contenders for Star Times Uganda Premier League title come next season?
It's all on to how a team plans and wants to be. Currently, it's off-season, and teams are also matching the pre-seasons, trying to set up what exactly they need to put ahead of what is coming. I want to say that, yes, Euro is trying so much to see that they get to the light or the glory days where you saw them having the likes of the likes of Shafiq Kajimu, who are in this team, the likes of Steven Dezo Mukwala, who are already out, and of course are pushing in a lot of the URA. But of course, it's an institutional club that needs to build up a brand that is going to be coming. So I think the URA team has a lot to adjust, and they are looking forward to see that that's not where they needed to finish. I remember there were table contenders when it came to moments of probably the season before these players left. But all in all, they are now looking into, can we come to those glory days? Can we get, of course, URA winning a trophy would be a plus to them. Of course, URA winning any accolade, even though going to represent the country in that is the continental football, would be a plus to them. So I think they are trying to strengthen up for the season. But of course, there are also very many teams that have strengthened up for that is the same season. So I can't say that they are going to be, of course, in there, but they are going to be competitors who, of course, will also want to be on top. Because I'm seeing still Vipers going to be a hard team to crack come next season. With the level of organization, KCCA is not going to be an easy team. With the level of organization, they are in. Bull is trying to readjust and make sure that things work. Even Sports Club Villa may not be an easy team next season. So all in all, they are looking forward to see that, we really need to put things work out. So I want to say that is where I'm seeing them, but they're going to be a strong team. Of course, the transfer will be closing around 1st of September. So you could be expecting, they still can add more. But of course, Laban Tibita is a very good player who would add something into their squad right there.
Yeah, we are still in Ugandan football. This time we need to also touch something about the Kasasiro boys. That's KCA. For them, as the other teams, they are looking for players within the country. For them, they have turned their focus to see that they bring foreign nation-based players into their camp. You look at the number of players they have brought from outside the nation. They have gone for already 2 Brazilian players into their team. And they have also gone on to bring 3 players from Angola. In total, around 5 players that are not Ugandan based being brought already into the camp of KCCA. you look at the difference between KCCA and URA, not forgetting about Sports Club. For Sports Club Villa, they have been quiet and they are yet to unveil new signing. That's Sports Club Villa. That's what we can tell you. But they have released so many good players. You talk about this other guy who went to Young Africans, Fred, Gift Fred, and also this guy who went to Rwandan Premier League. The name was just skipped out of my mind. They have so far released two good players, but they are yet to unveil a good player. Meanwhile, for KCA, as I said, they have gone for around 5 foreign-based players.
Yes, it's not a crime. It's what you want from a team. I think getting in the players that you really want to work with will add something. You can go for foreign players and they do you the best. You can go for local-based players and you don't get the best out of these players. It depends on what exactly the coach wants them to do. So I don't see it being a crime for them to go out and get players. Angola is a country that there are players in. So I think it's one big thing that you will really want to add into your squad. I think they want to buy what exactly. First, the competition is between them and the team of Viper Sports Club that they're looking forward to see that they want to compete. But all in all, go for this with purpose. It's not a matter of just going for, but when you go for players with purpose, then the purpose will show you what exactly you have to put on point to build up the team, to strengthen the team. We've seen them go for a Brazilian and a Brazilian also in Vipers. So you see the level of competition to show a team that, yes, this is it. KCC is an institutional club. Vipers is a one-man club. Of course, just a businessman. So it shows you that the competition is growing. You saw even Sports Club Villa the other time when they went for Petros. It was after, of course, the other clubs were also brought in, Wazungu into their team. So it was so interesting. But all in all, I want to say if they have gone in for these players with purpose, or know what exactly, if the coach knows that or feels this is the right thing, then I guess they are going to be having good flow. But if the coach goes and finds because he is just a scout, then it's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, keeping the pace within the country. This time we are still going to discuss about another personality. This time it's Maduka, who has been linked with a return to Blacks Power. This is the club where Arua Hill Sports Club signed him from, and things at the camp of Arua Hill, we all know that he has not been in a fine state, and this player may depart the club and may return to that's Blacks Power. How bad is this one for the club? That's Arua Hill Sports Club, as so many players continue to depart the club, and at the same time, how good is this one for Maduka to see that he returns to his former club?
Yes, I think it's not a bad one. It's a good move for him to come through, to of course get back to his former club. It adds value to him in a way that, of course, what you really need to add or put forward is what a player is. This is a job for this player. These players who play, trust me, players suffer a lot, just that they don't talk. They are professional enough to always keep secrets, but of course sometimes it goes past them. In the exclusive, of course, in an exclusive interview with West Nile Television Sports Desk, Maduka did reveal us what exactly he is, and Maduka talked about his pending arrears that have been there for quite a long time. He expected to be called for his monies maybe before the season starts, nothing else. He expected to really put it in the right way, waited for all this while, and the transfers are going. So it is one big thing. But Maduka has agreed, yes, personal terms. So with Blacks Power right now as I talk, he's my personal friend. He has agreed personal terms with Blacks Power. Not only that, Maroons were in the fight and chess for him. Anytime, don't also get surprised in case things he gets to the Maroons deal. But all in all, he agreed personal terms, yes. But waiting for that move to whether to yield after moments of what he has required are going to be given to him. If they are not going to be given, And then, of course, you may also see him not cross over to Black Star. But the fact is, he said he has already made his mind. He will not be able to come back to a Royal Sports Club in that, of course, phone interview that we had with Maduka. So, Innocent, going back to Black's Power, I think that's where he started. He's a lovely guy. He's a stylish midfielder who, of course, has been so much. He loves drafting from the wing. And he has given himself a lot of time. Remember, he playing for, that is the team of Rua Hill, but he started his career with Bukedia in there. So people there love him so much. People there love him so much. And we're expecting probably to see the best when he gets there. And of course, Mugena loves him. And he's home up now. Though he's a Nigerian, but all his life has been in Lira. So Black's Power is now in Lira. He would be able to be with his family. He will be able to come, maybe operate from home. It depends on what the club will do. But I think it's a good move for him.
Yeah, it's a good move for him. I also feel that it's a very good move for him because you look at the station currently at the camp of Arua Hill. So many good players, they are leaving the club. Even you look at the defense line, most of the key defenders have already left the club. In fact, before we look at what is transpiring in the ongoing Women's World Cup, 24 minutes already been played in the game between Morocco and France, and we can confirm to you, France, the finalists of 2019, they are leading Morocco by 2-0. Before we go further into the analysis of the Women's World Cup, you might be having one or two things to be put for the viewers local here. Then we look at what is transpiring in the World Cup.
Yeah, I just want to say, for those who thought maybe Arua Hill hasn't started, I did give you a rumor about a Royal Sports Club, saying probably they could be starting, they could use Kavumba Recreational Center, and that's the home they could use temporarily. But as I talk, they are training so much in Kampala. That's where the camp is. So it is one thing that is right there, because they can't really afford so much to redevelop Barifa Stadium. That's where it is. I want to say the wrangle between Onduparaka's management is still higher. I'm talking about the shareholders. It's still one thing that is also big. That issue can be one of the biggest challenge because the shareholder issue needed to be sorted out right there. 7 days were given, 7 days ultimatum was given to Arua Hill. So waiting to see whether they have fulfilled the requirements. But before that, you did see the club CEO resigning, and in the later one, you did see also the club not wanting a CEO. So we shall also give you who is the CEO, probably to come right there. In Arua City, they are welcoming a new coach by the end of this month. But by the end of this week, Arua City Football Club will be unveiling will be welcoming a new club CEO and a new club club coach who is going to be coming. So they have been searching in for a coach, and they are looking forward to see that they want to restructure Arua City Football Club management, and they will be putting it forward. That is the regional league to prepare ahead of the coming season. Nebi Central have also done restructuring, and they are looking forward to see how exactly they can be able to go to big league next season. They are already ongoing with pre-season games. They are prepared and signing players to come right this season. So they are in business as a regional league. I think they're one of the active team right now, leave alone the rest of the teams that have come through, or who are still waiting for maybe the land of I don't know, to develop. But it's one of the biggest thing. But the clubs are trying so much to challenge, and they want to push it forward. So it's one big thing in the regional league that the clubs are doing. Just remind you once again, all these regional league coverages will be of course exclusively on West Nile television. So you should be getting ready for all these moments. But of course, I think the regional league this season is going to be so interesting in a way that you will be seeing teams competing every time and now, because very many are signing in very many teams. So that's the little I can give you right now, but more yet to come.
Yeah, thanks for the update you have given to the viewers local here in the region. And as you said before, as we said rather before we go for the first half break, we also need to give you how things are transpiring in the ongoing Women's World Cup. As I said, 26 minutes already been played in the game between France and Morocco, and France is leading Morocco by 2-0. As I said, France, they were the finalists in 2019 Women's World Cup before losing into the hands of the team USA. A lot of surprises, shocking results are happening in the ongoing Women's World Cup. We saw Germany being knocked out in the group stages after that 1-1 tie with South Korea. Meanwhile, the defending champions, that's USA, they were knocked out by Sweden in the penalty shootout, and 4 Africans went to represent the continent in the ongoing Women's World Cup, and the 3, of course, have been knocked out already. Zambia were knocked out in the group stages. In the round of 16, we saw South Africa falling into the hands of Netherlands, and yesterday the Falcons, Nigeria, tried and went up to the penalty shootout, and they were beaten by England women, which means in total, taking a look at the teams that have already proceeded to the quarterfinals, Spain, for the first time, they already through to the quarterfinals. Japan, they already through. You talk about Sweden, who knocked out the defending champions, they already through, which means the Netherlands, they also through. England is also through. You talk about Colombia. Colombia, after edging out Jamaica in the morning fixture, they already through. And the last fixture is currently going on between Morocco and France. As I said, we thought that Morocco was going to upset the world again to see that they proceed to the quarterfinals. But all in all, still first half, we never know. They may bounce back towards the closing edges of first half. As in the second half, it may end in a draw. They may go to the penalty shootout. But all in all, 4 African countries, the way I am seeing, they are coming down.
I would love to talk, but also not to talk about the game right now because it's still ongoing. But one big thing that I can say about it, how exactly the teams are pushing in there. The African continent representing also, at least in the World Cup, in the women. Of course, we did see how Uganda went off. The She Cranes went off of that is the qualifiers. They couldn't push it right there. But of course, the prayers will always be, can the She Cranes also go and represent Uganda right there? I mean, the Crested Cranes that have always been there, the ladies team. So one big thing you could say is African clubs seems always not to be so much ready to go in this. Remember, it was Morocco that he surprised also many in the World Cup last year season. So it is one big thing that one would always love to watch, but when you don't see your own, and you feel like, okay, that is one. So, but I think African clubs need to do a lot to prepare always for this. Invest in the women football. This is, I'm telling you, it's an occupation. It is what exactly someone needs, a job that people do. So preparation is always very key for any other thing that comes through. For the Morocco and France, maybe I'll be talking about that after the game.
Yeah, exactly. The happiness is in Australia because they are the champions. In fact, this month is a good one for them because they are the champions of the just concluded Netball World Cup in South Africa, and also in the